Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. Hey, beautiful, how you doing?
Super duper, how are you?
Fantastic. Got some great stuff to talk about on today's program. Going to talk about a 31-year-old that was pretending to be a student.
Oh.
Also, later going to talk about some 6-year-olds that had the cops called on them. So, yeah, it's an interesting program. So some people need to grow up and other people need to act their age. But a University of Washington study found that the price of low-calorie foods have gone up 20% in the last 10 years. So foods with low calories have gone up 20% since 2005. At the same time, high-calorie food has remained stable. So saying if you want to, lose weight and eat good, you're going to spend 20% more. But if you want to just eat junk food, then you're okay. Prices are stable. So There you go. Coming up here in a bit, we're going to talk about a grandmother and a daughter and some grandkids that they all got arrested together. It was a family affair. We'll chat all about that on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
It's a family affair, Heidi.
All righty.
In Lodi, California, a grandmother, her daughter, and some grandkids were all arrested when they were working together to shoplift $900 worth of stuff from Target.
Oh.
It's a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't take anything. But can you imagine having the whole family involved?
That's
Grandmother,
awful. And
kids,
little
granddaughter,
kids, come
everybody.
on,
yeah, that's
people.
too bad. I'm a little upset right there. That's not good. Hey, coming up here in a moment, we're going to talk about a 31-year-old who was trying to blend in at a school, acting as a child.
As a child?
Yeah.
I could see maybe trying to get away with it at high school or college.
We'll tell you all about it on the way. It's coming up in a bit. Thanks
Nice.
for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Wasn't there a movie a while back where there was like an adult that was pretending to be a child? There was a scary movie, if I remember correctly.
I have no idea.
I think there was. I'm almost positive there was. Anyway, listen to this story. A 31-year-old woman has been charged after allegedly posing as a schoolgirl at a Canadian high school for 3 years.
Wow. What would be the
Apparently
point?
loved school. According to police, Treva Thornberry posed as Brianna Stewart at Evergreen School in Vancouver. She played tennis on the school team. She attended the senior prom. Well, now she faces theft charges because the state paid $11,500 for her education.
Wow.
So, I don't know why she would want to do it. If I had the opportunity, I would not do high school again.
Oh, no way.
I mean, you couldn't pay me $11,500 to go back. I wasn't a fan when I went the first time, and I don't want to do it again. I got out of there early because I could. I'm like, I can graduate early? Seriously? You sure you added that up right? I'm going to go with your flaw and say yes. So a 31-year-old woman just recently arrested for posing as a high school student for 3 years. I know some people in their 30s.
I do know what movie you were talking about, though.
Can't think of what it's called.
It was, they adopted a little girl, and she was an older woman.
Yeah, she had like little bracelet thingies on and
Yeah.
a thing around her neck or whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called now,
Doesn't matter. Anyway, this happened for real in Canada. A 31-year-old posed as a child, a high school student,
That
for
is
3
messed
years.
up.
It is. Coming up, we got a new segment called This Is Your Brain on Drugs. It's coming up in a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Seems like every day we have stories about people doing dumb things, and I've noticed a pattern. many times these people are in the...
Drugs are involved.
Yeah, they're somehow either selling or involved or whatever.
Shock.
So I'm going to start a new feature here called This Is Your Brain on Drugs. Remember back in the day they had This Is Your Brain?
Nancy Reagan, Ronald and Nancy.
No, that was Just Say No. This Is Your Brain was the fried egg thing.
Oh.
This is your brain, and then smacked it and threw it in there.
I remember
This is your brain
but
on
that was
drugs.
all during the 80s. That was all during the Just Say No campaign.
There you go. If that makes you feel better.
It was.
It was, but it had nothing to do with that. All right. Drugs really do kill off brain cells because after hearing about this story, there can be no other explanation. Duran Frank of Pennsylvania was brought into court recently on drug possession charges. While he was in the courthouse, he was approached by a couple of police officers who were there to serve him with a warrant for a completely different case. When he saw the officers, he became very nervous and blurted out that he had drugs on his person. Sure enough, officers checked him, and he indeed was carrying 2 grams of crack cocaine and some marijuana right there in the middle of a courthouse on the same day he was scheduled to go before a judge on drug possession charges for a different crime.
Didn't we talk about this?
No, this is a different guy.
He was emptying out his pockets.
No, this is a different guy completely.
Oh.
So whatever additional time he's been given probably isn't enough because I don't think he's going to learn.
Come on, people. Don't take drugs to the courthouse.
Don't take drugs,
this is
period.
Second one in a week's time.
That's what I'm saying.
Ridiculous.
I started looking back, and every single day we have at least one story about somebody doing something because of drugs.
Stupid people.
So this is your new feature. This is your brain on drugs. Brought to you by whoever. Not. I don't have a sponsor yet. We'll see if we can find one.
Okay.
Maybe one from Colorado. Just kidding. I'm just teasing. All right. Thank you so much. Coming up here in a bit, going to talk about an accidental call to 911. Oh, no. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
If you ever accidentally call 911, you need to get on the line and let them know what happened. You're not supposed to just hang up.
Right.
That's a bad idea.
Right.
In La Vista, Nebraska, a guy and his girlfriend were hungry. She tried to call for delivery, but she got the first 3 digits goofed up and she called 911. Instead of telling them that she made a mistake, she just hung up.
Yeah.
Well, in cases like this, officers are dispatched to investigate what's going on.
Well, yeah.
Because, it could be a disturbance.
Be an emergency situation.
Somebody dialed 911 and somebody else hung it up trying to stop them. So it wouldn't have been a problem except that her boyfriend happened to be wanted on 7 felony charges.
Oh, yikes.
So when they got there to find out, is everything okay? They're like, yeah, everything's okay. And they're like, so,
you?
Wait a minute.
I got a poster of you hanging up at the
You look
police
awfully
station.
familiar. Aren't you this guy right here? There's a warrant for your arrest. There's 6 more right there. All right. Coming up here in a moment, we have our scoop of the day. That is on the way on this Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the scoop of the day, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Go check it out at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, your scoop of the day. A Brooklyn, New York man allegedly switched price tags and used the self-checkout station at a shop and stop.
Oh.
And he stole thousands of dollars worth of diapers. Kevin Hargrove was arrested after police say he made regular trips to multiple locations of the supermarket, swapped diaper price tags with 99-cent items. He's now been given the nickname Diaper Don by the New York tabloids. There was a movie where Steve Martin was in it. He was in witness protection, and he took the pricing gun at a grocery store, and he started changing the prices on things. And they were checking him out. Everything was like 48 cents, 50 cents, and he had like meat. He had hundreds of dollars worth of stuff, and it added up to like $20.
I don't remember that movie. I thought I knew all Steve Martin
It was a good movie. It was funny, but I remember watching that, and the kid at the counter, the checkout counter, because it was a person checking him out, he had no clue. And it was it was funny. Back to the scoop. Police say a woman blames her coffee-drinking pet parrot for distracting her moments before she crashed her car into a guardrail.
We talked about this.
Did we?
Yes.
Troopers say a 35-year-old woman was driving and she noticed her bird was pecking on the lid of her coffee cup. She struck the guardrail, glanced down while she glanced down to see what the bird was up to. So they say that it's not good to text while driving, and it's not good to talk on the phone while driving or drink while driving. Never once have I heard anything about having your parrot that's drinking coffee, cause a problem. So now they're going to probably outlaw that in Pennsylvania.
I've always wanted a parrot.
I think it'd be cool to have a parrot, but I'm afraid of what you would teach this parrot. A Philadelphia girl's Sweet 16 party kind of got stinky before it was done. Ugh. There was an airplane flying overhead, and
I read about this.
A bunch of waste from the bathroom fell right on their party. 40 party guests watched as everything in the yard was covered with waste, including the canopy and the chairs and a baby seat. Fortunately, they had just finished eating the cake, so the cake was good. So I'm pretty sure some of it probably came back.
Thing. What a way to ruin your birthday.
Oh, Sweet 16. What a crappy party.
That's just so sad.
Hey, 40-year-old Michael Kimmel of Kentucky was arrested. You know what he got arrested for?
What's that?
Riding a horse while under the influence of alcohol.
Are you sure we didn't do these stories?
I'm positive. I think you saw something online. I don't remember any of this stuff.
All right.
1 out of 5 Americans are in favor of bringing back the gas chamber. Does that sound familiar?
No, that one does not sound familiar.
That's new? All right. Also, cash machines.
The gas chamber. For killing several people all at once?
I don't know. It just says 1 in 5 Americans are in favor of bringing back the gas chamber in a recent poll. I have no idea.
I'm assuming only for
one at a time.
One prisoner.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I have no clue. I didn't read the rest of the poll. I just copied that one line because I thought that sounded interesting. Cash machines could soon be installed with devices that identify customers by reading the veins in their fingers. No, not their fingerprints, but the veins in their fingers. The technology is already being rolled out in Poland, where 1,730 cash machines this year will be installed with readers, canceling the need for a debit card or a PIN number. The machine reads the pattern of the veins just below the surface of the skin on your finger using infrared sensors, and you're the only one that has that pattern in veins. So, there you go.
But aren't you also the only one with your fingerprint? And that technology already exists.
I don't know. This is something new. Maybe they don't want you to have to be fingerprinted to use this. I have no clue.
But how would they know the pattern under your fingerprint?
Well, you'd have, when you sign up, you'd put your thumb on there.
Couldn't you also do that with your fingerprint?
Probably. But I think...
This is Poland we're talking about.
Well, it doesn't matter where it is, because there are probably people out there who are saying that's not fair because they have APHIS, the database of all the thumbprints.
But you also don't think they could compose that exact same thing out of the other pattern? But
what I'm saying is, if they have all of the criminals on file, this would be a really bright way, if they did use thumbprints, a really bright way to check all of the members of this bank to make sure they're not criminals, because you need a thumbprint to get an account there.
I think they can get that same information from storing the other information as well. It wouldn't have to be a fingerprint.
I don't make these stories up. I don't type them. I just read them.
And this should be concerning because they're collecting way too much data. I'm sorry, but it's true. If you think about it, they really don't need this much information on us.
Just give me a PIN.
Right, I'd rather use a PIN.
I'll use a PIN number and I'll use my debit card.
Yes.
Because that's fine. Because then if I needed to send somebody to the ATM, I could send somebody. If I have to have my thumb there, that doesn't work. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway.
Or if you get kidnapped and somebody wants you to withdraw money, all they need to do is make you stick your finger on the thing. Where at least if it's a PIN, you can give them the wrong PIN and not get the money out.
See? Heidi, you are so smart. I would have never thought of that.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, let's talk about a strange law, because we've definitely beat this dead horse way too much. Moving on to a different story. Our strange law for today. In Natoma, Kansas, it is illegal to throw a knife at anyone wearing a striped shirt.
Okay.
So, just wear a striped shirt, nobody can throw a knife at you. If they'd make it illegal to shoot at you, too, that would even be better. But it's
Where
not.
was this at?
Natoma, Kansas.
Huh.
Illegal to throw a knife at anyone wearing a striped shirt.
Huh.
All right, that's your strange law, and that is all part of this Scoop of the Day for today, brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. And if you would like to get some razors, go check out dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Have you ever sent a text message and then right after sending it thought, oh boy, I wish I wouldn't have sent that?
Yes.
Either because it went to the wrong person,
yes.
or because you sent it when you were upset and then later you realized, wow, I kind of overreacted a little bit.
No, I overreact all the time.
I know this.
I never think that because it's like, that's just me. But I have sent a message to the wrong person.
To the wrong person?
Yes.
Can we talk about that here or no?
No.
Okay. Well, I just, the smirk on your face, I am eager to hear.
It wasn't good.
Can I ask you during our bonus break about it?
And I've sent a typo before that came out completely wrong. I felt terrible. And it literally was my autocorrect that changed it. This guy who happens to be a bigger man sent me a text and was it was a kind of giving me crap. And I said, oh, hey, thanks, big guy. But my autocorrect changed it to gut. And I clicked send just as I saw it said, thanks, big gut. And I was like,
man.
oh, no. And I couldn't stop it. I was like, oh.
I hear that a lot around here. She sends things. Oh, no. What did I just do? Well, good news, Heidi. A Phoenix man is making your mistakes disappear. According to KTVK News, Kevin Wooten developed an app that can help you turn back the clock. It's called Retext, and it's RETXT. He says that when you've sent a text you didn't mean to send, it allows you to delete the text, and it'll delete from their account. He said he was inspired by autocorrect to create a message app with edits and delete functions. And he thought, the text recipient will see that you've made changes. What? Though your text recipient will see that you've made changes, he insists once you hit delete, it is gone.
Huh.
So, I don't know what that means. So maybe it'll show up that you sent a text, but then you took it away. I don't know what that means. I'm not really a text guy. I don't like text messaging. You send me stuff all the time.
I like to text. I prefer to text.
That's not my thing.
I prefer texting rather than talking on the phone.
Can we just talk? By the time we're done texting back and forth, we could have gotten this done.
The way you text, yes. The way most people text, it's much quicker to just send a text.
I'm over here like, let's see. We're trying to find the beep. There's one more here. Beep. How do I hit send again? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is painful. For even me to use your phone, it's painful because you don't have it set up for swipe.
I don't care. I don't text. So, all right, you have to check that out. Again, it's called Retext, RETXT. Thank you so much for tuning in on whatever day it is. Thursday? Oh,
Thursday.
Is this week done yet? Thursday. Can we go home?
Thursday.
All right. We got some fun stuff to chat about here. The show is not over yet. We got some cool stuff. Today's some special days we're going to chat about. Also going to talk about a zero pollution car. We're going to chat about that. I actually saw this on Shark Tank. And some other fun things. It's all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Sunny Radio, where it's always in the 80s. Thank you so much for joining us on a Thursday. Can you smell it, folks? Delicious ribs. We've got RIBFEST starting tonight. Rick Huffman is with the Sioux Falls Arena and the Denny Sanford Premier Center, and his business card is like 8 pages long. You're with a lot of different things.
Yeah, we're busy.
But RIBFEST is one of them. Probably the most delicious thing you're a part of, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Well, I do make a pretty mean lasagna. But yeah, the RIBFEST is the best. Yeah.
So tonight is the night. What time does everything get started at RIBFEST today?
Yeah, we're going to open the doors open the gates at 4 o'clock today. And we got Pop Rocks kicking things off up on the stage, followed by Firehouse, and then Warrant.
Could be a great
our
night.
Headliner tonight. So.
Well, we had a chance to talk to Tommy Paradise from Pop Rocks yesterday. Neat guy. And then Eric Turner from Warrant was on yesterday as well. We're excited for the night. It's going to be a darn good one. And then you've got a fun day lined up for tomorrow, too, don't you?
Yeah, gates on Friday and Saturday. The gates open at 11 o'clock, and it's free admission until 3. So come out early if you want to have lunch out there or whatever. We'll charge admission starting at 3 o'clock on both Friday and Saturday. And then for bands tomorrow, we've got Sergeant Rocks kicking things off, band made up of some area National Guardsmen. Nice. And then one of our most popular bands we usually have out of RIBFEST is Good Road. They'll be on, as well as American Scarecrows. And our headliner on Friday is Cheap Trick.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You got a good lineup tonight and tomorrow night as well. And then we've got kind of a country flavor on Saturday, don't we?
Yeah, we've got Montgomery Gentry is our headliner, and ahead of them will be Uncle Cracker. So we're bringing both of them in for Saturday. Dustin Evans and the Good Times Band is going to perform for us this year. He's been to RIBFEST. And then kicking things off on Saturday is Big Red Rocket Riot. So we'll get the music going at 5 o'clock each night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and hope to see lots of folks out there.
And, of course, it's not over on Saturday because we've got Kid Fest at RIBFEST on Sunday. Yeah, Kids Fest at RIBFEST, kind of a tradition for us. On Sunday, we open the gates free of charge to anybody that wants to come out. We usually plan it as a kids' day, but we'll still have the fabulous food from the rib vendors, and we'll have a lot of activities for the kids. We'll have bounce houses and balloon animals. This year we'll have some clowns, a magician and a juggler, and the Great Plains Zoo will be there with their Zoo-mobile, and arts and crafts items, just a ton of stuff for kids to do to enjoy, and that runs from 11 to 5 on Sunday. And the nice thing with that is if there's a place that, maybe you were there all the other days and you hadn't had a chance to try that one last rib place, you get a chance to do that on Sunday. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the rib vendors will still be there. So, and it's a whole lot of fun. RIBFEST. If you've never been there before, make this the year that you get out and join us. Now you're at the WH Lyon Fairgrounds again. Is that correct? Yeah, last year, for folks who remember RIBFEST from the previous 17 incarnations, we used to always have it at the arena. And last year, we decided to move it over to the fairgrounds. Gives us more space, so we can maybe do more things with it. And worked out so well, I think we're gonna stay there. So we're back out at the fairgrounds again this year. Very nice, and it was a great time last year. I hope we have some really good weather this year. That would be amazing to have good weather all the way through. But it starts tonight. Again, what time do the gates open tonight, Rick? Tonight, gates open at 4 o'clock, and music starts at 5, and admission tonight is only $5. There you go, and you got a great lineup for $5. Yeah, Pop Rocks, Firehouse, and then the headliner Warrant. Going to be a whole lot of fun. Now, a big thank you to Campbell Supply for stepping up and being the sponsor. That was a great thing for them to do. Yeah, the only changes this year are things that I don't think you're not going to notice by being out there on the grounds. It's great music, great ribs, great people watching. But we do have a new title sponsor for us this year, as you mentioned, Campbell Supply, and then our company, my company, SMG, which manages the Denny Sanford Premier Center and the arena. We're partnering this year with the fairgrounds and with Pepper Entertainment here in town. Nice. And so we got new partners, new sponsors, but it's still the same great event. So. I was going to say, same great event, just some different things going on behind the scenes. But when you walk out there tonight, the ribs are going to taste just as good. The music is going to sound just as awesome. We've got it's going to be good. All of them back from last year. The People's Choice Award winner from last year, Porky and Beans. I think he's been here with us. All 18 years. Our Critics' Choice first place winner last year was a new vendor, Uncle Bub's, out of the Chicago area. They're back. Our second and third place Critics' Choice vendors, Rasta Joe's and Desperados, are back, as well as all the other great ones. Very nice. And I tell you, I can tell you, because I was there every day last year, and I made it a point to have ribs from every single place, and they were all good. I can't... Yeah. And I couldn't tell you which one was the best, so I guess when I get there tonight, I'm going to have to start all over and try them once again. Start keeping score. There you go. Yeah, and make sure when you do come out that you vote. Make sure you get a ballot when you come to the gate, and it's a People's Choice ballot, and make sure you vote for your favorite rib vendor, and that'll also enter you into our door prizes. So we'll draw for the door prizes at the end of the event. Very good. Thank you so much, sir. I know you're busy today. Thanks for taking 5 minutes to chat with us here on Sunny Radio. No problem. Thanks, John. And again, Rick Huffman right there. RIBFEST starts tonight. We'll see you out there, folks. It's at the WH Lyon Fairgrounds, and we're going to play some music from Warrant right now. They're going to be rocking the house tonight, so you'll be able to hear them tonight at RIBFEST. Thanks for listening to Sunny Radio, where it's always in the 80s.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Today is Thursday. It is the 28th day of May, which makes today Sierra Club Day. What is the Sierra Club?
I have no idea.
All right. It's I've heard of this before. I don't know why. It also is the day that slugs return from Capistrano. So it's Slugs Return from Capistrano Day.
Nice.
I thought it was like birds that went to Capistrano. Wasn't it?
I have no idea. I don't know what Capistrano is.
It's a place.
Okay.
But apparently slugs return from there too. So the snails go there? How long would it take for snails to get back from
I have no idea.
Capistrano? All right. You're going to have to Google that and double check. Maybe this is spelled wrong. Maybe it really wasn't might have been something other than slugs. That's what it says on my page.
Okay.
Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about the AirPod. It's a car, kinda. It's an interesting car. We're going to tell you all about it on the way.
Hi, it's Jewel and Kelly Pickler. Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women. So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope. Please join us. Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I'm a big fan of a program called The Shark Tank. If you've not seen it,
I know you
I love it. If you've not seen the show, you have to check it out. It's on check your local listings. ABC, I think, is the channel it's on. But it's a good program, and it's cool because people come in and they present these ideas. I saw this company on that show, AirPod. Did you watch this one with me?
I don't know.
Car companies are always trying to develop the next best way to save on fuel. Ethan Tucker and Pat Boone, remember him? He was a singer back in the day. They
Yes,
have
I did see this one with you.
zero pollution motors. The U.S. licensee for Motor Development International might have the next big thing, the AirPod. AirPod runs on cold air compressed in tanks up to 300 times atmospheric pressure. AirPod says the car can be refilled from an air compressor at a gas station in about 3 minutes for less than $3. The car weighs about 600 pounds. A top speed is about 50 miles an hour with an 80-mile range. The AirPod would seem to make for the perfect city car. It wouldn't be something you'd take on long trips. It would really stink to run out of air. I'm like, well, can you fill me up with some air? But it's a cool idea. It's a really cool idea. I think.
Well, you are so full of hot air. We would
I know.
never have problems.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'd get one of those little
You could
bicycle
run
pumps.
forever and ever and
One of those
ever.
little bicycle pumps. And maybe a foot pump.
That would be cool if it catches on. I think
Yeah,
that's
it'll be
great.
interesting to see. It was on Shark Tank. I remember Robert
And they
Herjavec was
sold
interested.
for like nothing. They were super cheap.
Yeah,
I
it wasn't a
can't-
whole lot. So it'll be interesting to see. Something to keep your eyes on. The AirPod. I'm going to have to see if I can get a John and Heidi AirPod.
That'd be awesome.
Would you let me
On
drive
the-
it?
We're on the AirPod.
the on the
You're
air.
on the AirPod.
See? I work with her all day. Brilliance like that happens so many times. Other people are like, wow, that's awesome. I'm like, no, it's just Thursday. That's all. Coming up, we got a former Georgia police officer who was forced to do a job. We're going to tell you what he was doing. It's all on the way.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Cartersville, Georgia. Now, first of all, we had a president, Jimmy Carter. Wasn't he from Georgia?
I have no clue.
I wonder if there's a connection to Cartersville and
Probably.
the Jimmy Carter family. That's interesting. I'll have to check into that. Well, a former Cartersville, Georgia police officer said that he was forced out of a job for ministering to inmates at the Bartow County Jail. According to Fox News, David Bojazuk, a father of 8, says the chief of the Cartersville Police Department called the act a, quote, conflict of interest and ordered him and other officers to stop ministering at the jail. Bojazuk refused and resigned, saying that he was forced out because of his ministry. So
That's unfortunate.
I think it is unfortunate, and it's really nice that, especially in the age today where we are concerned as a nation, everybody, for whatever reason, in a big uproar lately about all of the police officers. These guys are doing something really good, and I'm not saying others don't. I know there's a ton of police officers that do great things all the time. And it's sad that we hear about a couple of knuckleheads that do something bad and get caught, and then they try to make it look like all policemen are bad. That's not the case. I know so many officers that are great people. And it sounds like these guys, it wasn't just this one guy, but there were several that were doing something good. They're ministering to people who need it.
Yeah.
They're in jail. A little bit of help is probably even something that they appreciate. So anyway, it's really kind of sad. So there you go. That happened in Cartersville, Georgia. I'm going to have to go online now and Google Cartersville, Georgia, and see if there's some connection to Jimmy. Do you think there is?
I'm sure there is.
Should we make a wager?
Sure there is. No.
All right.
I'm
You're not that interested? Okay. Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. Got a fun story coming up here. It's another study that's going to make you really happy. It's a way to reduce your risk of having heart attacks and stroke. We're going to tell you all about it on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Yet another study, Heidi. You're big fans of studies, aren't you?
Most of them no, because they're ridiculous.
Well, this one shows what you can do to reduce your risk of having a heart attack or stroke. This is a good one.
This is a good one.
A 25-year study of 88,000 healthy women found that those who followed the so-called DASH diet, which is heavy in fruits and veggies and whole grains and low-fat milk and plant-based proteins and light on meat, they were 24% less likely to have heart attacks and 18% less likely to have a stroke. They only studied women. Experts say the same diet would also be beneficial to men, they think, but they only studied women in this particular thing. A 25-year study of 88,000 people.
Wow.
That is just fascinating when you think about that.
How would they keep all the information straight?
I don't know. I have no clue. But, that's one of those studies that it sounds like they got some good news from it. So all you got to do is focus on this DASH diet. So what is it again? Heavy in fruits and veggies, whole grains, low-fat milk, and plant-based protein, very light on meat. Well, no kidding. If you did all of that, of course you'd be healthier.
Yeah, I don't like that as much. I kind of need the meat.
I do too. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening on a Thursday. We got your 10-year mistake. Going to tell you about that in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
How horrible is this, Heidi? It's not just criminals who make mistakes. Sometimes judges do, too. In Tampa, Florida, 47-year-old Leonard Brown spent 10 years too many in prison because a judge made a mistake. Leonard spent more than half of his life behind bars. Circuit Judge Harry Lee Coe, known for dishing out tough sentences, wrongly sentenced him to 99 years on a robbery conviction that should have brought him just 15 years. A fellow inmate who once worked for a law firm discovered this error in Leo's file about a year ago and helped him get it into court. He was finally set free Friday of last week, and he walked from the prison into the arms of his family. He said, "I thank my family for sticking by me all these years, especially my mom." So he's been in for 25 years, and he had a 99-year sentence, but according to the laws that he had broken, a maximum sentence in that state was 15 years. So he's already been in jail for 25, and the maximum penalty was 15 years.
Well,
so the judge...
You know what? I mean, don't commit crimes.
I agree with that, but I'm saying when the judge doled out his punishment, he doled out a little more than he probably should have on this one. So I hope the guy learned his lesson and doesn't end up back in jail. That would be really, really good. Coming up, we're going to talk about somebody that robbed a Wendy's. It was Ronald McDonald.
That is awesome.
True story to end the program. That is on the way in a bit.
Hi, it's Jewel and Kelly Pickler. Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women. So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope. Please join us. Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
You know those police lineups they have? I've never been involved in one, but this is the first one I've ever been ever read about that I've thought I would like to be
at this one.
At this police lineup. It's the Battle of the Redheads, folks. Ronald McDonald was arrested for robbing a Wendy's in Manchester, New Hampshire. A 22-year-old man whose name really is Ronald McDonald. He's been charged with stealing money from a safe at a Wendy's restaurant. The manager of the restaurant called police after he found McDonald and another employee had taken some money from the office safe. Ronald told the store manager that he used his driver's license to pick the lock to the office. After repeated requests, he finally returned the stolen money. Guess how much they stole?
How much?
$133.
Oh.
That'll buy you.
Okay, so now I'm a little disappointed in this story. I was thinking
somebody dressed as Ronald McDonald. He should have dressed that way.
Although, I'm just saying, talk about a brilliant crime. Because
blame it on the Hamburglar. So $133 is what they stole. They're getting in all kinds of trouble over that.
Well,
by the way,
should get in all kinds
that would
of
get
trouble
you
for that.
26 extra value meals, by the way, just in case you wanted to know. I did the math on that, just to make sure we know what we're talking about here. Not worth it, really, when you think about it. You're getting all this kind of trouble for $133 bucks?
That is ridiculous.
That's just not worth it at all. So don't rob things. That's just foolish. I do wish that it was somebody dressed like Ronald McDonald.
I was hoping disappointed.
Too. I don't really want to be at this police lineup now. It wouldn't be any fun.
No, nowhere near as fun.
And for those of you who just got ripped off by the story that I read, I'm going to take something from the bonus break and I'm going to share it right here. How's that sound?
Oh.
I feel better about this.
All righty.
Technology is edging even closer to the expectations for 2015 set by things like Back to the Future. We were supposed to have flying cars and hoverboards and whatnot.
Yes, we've heard your rant about that many times. Where's my hoverboard?
I'm looking for it. Well, Caitlin Alexandru Duru is helping us get there. The Canadian inventor recently set the Guinness World Record for the furthest flight on a hoverboard, hovering 16 feet over a lake as he flew his hoverboard prototype over 900 feet forward. So he's flying. I thought it was a she. Caitlin. Apparently that's a guy's name in Canada. I did not know that. So Caitlin, it says down here, he flew his hoverboard 900 feet forward over a lake. Now, for those of you who watched the movie,
you're
not supposed to fly over water.
Yeah.
So apparently
unless he had the one like
packs?
Biff had,
there
because
you go.
Biffs could fly over water.
Could have been. All I know is I want to see this. I'm going to have to go online. I saw some videos on YouTube, and I didn't believe they were real because I thought it was all just a hoax. But apparently there is some sort of hoverboard technology now. I'm excited to see it.
I've heard that there is for a long time.
I know where I'm going.
I haven't seen any.
Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
I got to get on YouTube and check out these videos. I know I'm going to be on there messing around for 4 or 5 hours. Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. We appreciate you joining us on the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
All right, bonus breakers, thank you so much for sticking around. Now, we just gave out the really cool hoverboard story for our regular break, but I did save something for you.
Okay.
It's good, too. Police in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. First of all, what a cool name.
Yeah.
Pawtucket. They were called to break up a fight between two 6-year-old boys.
Okay.
They were in a fight over a pacifier.
6-year-olds?
6-year-olds got in a fight over a pacifier, and their parents, instead of fixing this on their own, called the police.
Oh, good Lord.
Are you kidding me? Seriously? So they got in a fight, and...
Well, the fact that the kids are still using pacifiers at age 6 says that they aren't doing a bang-up job as parents.
When did our kids quit using a pacifier?
They were...
18?
17.
No, they weren't really. How old were they?
No, our kids never took pacifiers. Neither one of them liked pacifiers.
Oh, well then, we don't know at what age that's normal.
No.
All right, how about this? Another story here quick. An unnamed 47-year-old man from Sioux, Germany, faced a parking fine of $98 or 10 days in prison. Police said they were stunned when he called and said, "Come and pick me up, take me to jail." He said, "I'd rather go to prison than pay the $98. 10 days in prison is fine. I want to get away from my nagging wife."
Oh, boy.
He said, "I'm looking forward to some peace and quiet for 10 days.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine if it's that bad, dude? Get a divorce.
So a parking
prison
fine
is better than his wife.
So $98 or 10 days in prison. They have different parking rules than we do. I don't think that's how it works here, is it?
Well,
I had a parking ticket once.
If you don't pay your parking tickets, you can get jail time.
But I had a parking ticket once. It was $5. So $98. He must have had a lot of parking tickets.
He probably had a lot of them, or
All
he
right.
was parked somewhere where like it's a huge fine, like maybe in an emergency zone.
Don't know.
Like for ambulances or
Could be.
fire trucks or something.
I don't know. That was over in Germany. So maybe if you listen in Germany, maybe you can let us know. All right, time to say goodbye again, Heidi.
Goodbye again, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to our bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.